Hey, welcome to Between the Ropes. I am your host. My name is Christy Wilson. Yes, yeet. This should be a really good show. We got some topics, some crazy, some not so, but it should be overall a good show. And my cup, my way. I hope everyone is having a very lovely Saturday afternoon, wherever you may be. So let's get to what the show is all about. We're going to start with the first things first, because I forgot to mention this after introducing myself. This program is presented to you by Playback and by Novig Sportsbook. Yeah, got all that. Now, let's get to topic numero uno, shall we? Monday Night Raw. Yeah. Looks like Seth Rollins' injury was serious enough. He had to have surgery, and he had to vacate it. I suspected this would happen if the injury was bad enough to require surgery. It did. He vacated it, or as Adam Pearce said, stripped him of it. We know he vacated it, Adam Pearce. We know that. We all know that. So we had over the top battle royale happen in the main event of Raw. Of course, CM Punk on commentary. He was the number one contender. I didn't expect him to lose that I didn't expect him to lose that spot, and he didn't. So now he knows who he's going to be facing at Saturday night's main event in Salt Lake City, Utah on November 1st. And it's going to be the man whose shirt I am wearing. I'll get the cup out of the way. Yep. Yeet. Main event, Jey Uso threw his own brother Jimmy over the top rope, and he got the chance. So that is your one of three big championship matches for Saturday night's main event next week, November 1st in Salt Lake City. The other one got set last night on SmackDown. I'll get to it a little bit later. But who do I want to win? My shirt was, if you go by my shirt, you would think main event Jey Uso. And that would be honestly very, very nice. Because I felt like when he was World Heavyweight Champion the first time after beating Gunther at WrestleMania this past April in Las Vegas, I felt like Jey was treated like a joke. When I really don't think he is. I really do not think he's a joke. I really felt like he deserved that chance. He deserved that opportunity to be the champion. And I really felt like he really could have ran with it if the booking was right and if the creative was right. And it wasn't on both fronts. And I don't think he should have lost it either to Gunther, but I don't know. Don't know what goes on behind the scenes in WWE, so I'm just giving you an opinion pretty much. But got that match set up. We're definitely going to get a new World Heavyweight Champion. The next two matches, and I'm going to kind of tie this all in, with Seth Rollins, the man he beat at Crown Jewel, Cody Rhodes, is going to put his own title on the line against Drew McIntyre. Again, Saturday night's main event. Will that be the main event match on the card? I don't honestly know. And I will be previewing that next week, November 1st, of course, hours before it starts. But we got that match coming up. And, of course, last night at SmackDown, a women's championship match was put on the card for Saturday night's main event. Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. I know. Have we not seen this before? Yes, we have. Results, one was a DQ, the other was a loss. Tiffany still has the belt. Will it change this time now that Jade Cargill turned heel? Which was not a surprise to me because personally, as a wrestling fan from my perspective, she does very well as a heel. I watched her in AEW for her entire time in that company, even 509 days as longest reigning champion in AEW history before Mercedes Moné broke that record. Jade was a heel. So it just seems to, in terms of in-ring character, being a heel, I think comes very naturally to her. That's just my opinion. So there's that. As for everything else, we'll not do a full preview next week until the whole match card is put together and I can give like either my picks or honest opinion on what I think of the event overall. So there's that. Now we're going to get to what I talked about in the video I posted on all BTR social media last week related to AEW Wrestle Dream. Why did I give it an 8.5 out of 10? I will give you the downers on what made me grade it that way. Let's take a look at the TBS title open challenge that Mercedes Moné put out there. Her coming out looking like the late great Tejano singer Selena. Let me be clear. Mina Shirakawa was not the one you should have put out there because Mina was done so unbelievably dirty. I hated that. That brought it down a major notch, in my opinion. Why would you want to give Mercedes the interim Ring of Honor Women's World Television title? Are you planning to feed the linear champion? And Zane Bando would know that. If you don't know what linear means, Zane Bando, who's a big MMA fanatic, will tell you. As referring to the one who actually has the belt but can't defend it due to injury. So Mina is the one who's the interim champion, was the interim champion, by the way. I will get to another topic related to her just a moment after this. Like I said, Mina was done so dirty. And I hated the fact that they decided to give Mercedes an interim title just to break a record. To me, it does not make sense at all. Yeah, she's upping the profile of multiple promotions, but what are you really doing for the talent that are on the rosters of these promotions? You're not really doing anything. And I think Tony Khan, if you're watching, you really, really need to have a serious conversation with that woman about what she's doing because it could be hurting more than helping. That's just my thought on it. Now, I mentioned the next thing I'm going to talk about is related to the woman I talked about, Mina Shirakawa, done dirty by Mercedes Moné. But now I realize I need to stick to what I'm talking about. Wrestle Dream. Yeah, most of the card, yeah. Now we finally figured out the whole why Samoa Joe Hangman Page storyline happening while the Joe turned heel, his faction, the Ops, kind of turned heel, and I think that feud between Hangman and Samoa Joe is going to go all the way till World's End at the end of this year, I think. Last pay-per-view for AEW, so that's one. Kyle Fletcher still your TNT champion. Mark Briscoe, I think he's going to get another title shot at this. Death Riders, Mox versus Darby Allin, the I Quit match. I know some people were super pissy about the ending. Darby putting Mox in the Scorpion Deathlock in what looked like a puddle of water from a busted fish tank. And yeah, there was glass. But that was only because the icon, the legend Sting, busted the fish tank up with a baseball bat. That was the only reason why. Now it did carry over into the Dynamite after Wrestle Dream, which is Mox in a match against Kyle O'Reilly got himself DQ'd by clocking the official. So, and the whole Darby versus Death Riders thing is not going to stop because Darby made a vow. As long as the Death Riders are lurking around, Darby's going to be there to stop them in the tracks. And he managed to stop them from desecrating Orange Cassidy. So there's that. So I think Mox and the Death Riders really need to heed this warning seriously because I'm beginning to think with the I Quit match and then Mox clocking the official, the death of the Death Riders is going to be coming. If it hasn't already started already, I think it's going to be a very slow descent to the Death Riders will cease to exist. Other matches, we get to Chris Statlander versus Tony Storm, and this ties into my next topic. Chris Statlander retained her title against someone I obliterated in the Roast to Wrestler segment a couple of weeks or so ago, Tony Storm. Now, Stat managed to retain. I was glad for her. And then we had the Mercedes TBS title open challenge, and Mercedes was being of course, Mercedes is a heel, so you would expect her to be a bitch after winning that Ring of Honor interim Women's World Television title, which Mercedes never should have won that. Sorry, not sorry on that one. Chris Statlander came in and kind of ruined that celebration, deservedly so, because why are you celebrating winning an interim title? Doesn't make sense. So now we now officially have a women's world title match set for Full Gear. And as far as I'm concerned, Mercedes should not win this belt either. She didn't win it at All In against Toni Storm. And I don't think she's going to beat Chris Statlander either. Because let's face it, Statlander is proving herself, at least to me, she is worthy of that championship. And I can understand why everyone in the front office for AEW, including the boss man, Tony Khan, felt that she was worthy to have it. She just has everything. Does Mercedes have all the intangibles and everything like that? Look, the mic skills and her promo abilities are not the best. But she is good in the ring. I'm not going to completely dispute that at all. I just will not do that. But I am going to doubt whether Mercedes can actually win this championship because I think I've said this before, maybe a few episodes ago, and I know I've had conversations with some folks about it. You don't want your promotion's women's division, both belts, both the main world title and the mid card belt, to be held by one person. That's not fair, as far as I'm concerned. And it makes sense that you should have let others have those opportunities. And I really feel that you should. So the next topic, this is squeezing into, Mercedes being Mina Shirakawa. Well, the AEW, oh, damn my eye, sorry. AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship Tournament brackets were announced. Why do they feel the need to do brackets? This ain't March Madness. This is not March Madness. But this is actually not bad. And the teams is ironically 8 teams, two side, and of course, it's kind of like a March Madness bracket. Go ahead, good luck trying to figure out who you want to win. The teams assembled here are Queen Aminata and Jamie Hayter, the Sisters of Sin, Julia Hart and Sky Blue, Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron, Mercedes Moné and Athena. Those two should not win this. I'm going to say that right now. No, no, no. They should be focused on killing each other before becoming tag team champions. And on the other side of the bracket, we have Alex Windsor and Riho, the first ever women's AEW Women's World Champion. Tony Storm and, of course, the woman I said was done dirty. Yeah, Mina Shirakawa. They teamed up. So definitely an interesting pair. And then we have two teams that have established, at least one has been established a little longer than the other. One is Megan Bayne, the All Elite Goddess, and the super bad girl Penelope Ford, and TJ, Ty Mello, and Anna Jay. Now, if you ask me to pick a favorite, I might have an issue because let's face it, there's only a few of them, and I know people are going to be going, "Oh, you could have why not Mercedes and Athena?" No, just the thought of those two holding another belt, especially in Mercedes' case, just makes my skin crawl. I don't like that idea. Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron seem like a fun duo, very positive, bubbly. Harley Cameron is very funny. She's definitely getting better in the ring. Willow is established and is awesome. If Anna Jay and Ty Mello have been an established women's tag team for a long time, this is finally their opportunity to finally get what they deserve, which is gold around their waist. So if you had to, so on one side of the bracket, if I had to pick a tag team to come out of this, and I will probably guarantee being 100% wrong on this. I would go on one side of the bracket. The matchups are pretty interesting. You got Queen Aminata and Jamie Hayter versus Sky Blue and Julia Hart, aka Sisters of Sin. This could get interesting. I would go Miss Hayter and the Queen are probably going to make it. Sisters of Sin, they're good. They're good too. We'll see what happens on that front, but I would say if I had to pick two teams to make it to that final match, I'm gonna go, and I'm really gonna seriously hate. I mean, I know people are gonna say Mercedes and Athena are gonna be there in the finals, and versus Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa. I mean, look, that's all great and everything. So I'm gonna put my neck out on the line for this. My pick I think's gonna win the tournament, and my sleeper. So here we go. The team I think is gonna win and become the AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions, first ever. I say my head is going Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa. I think that's one. My sleeper pick, ironically, this team is in the same bracket, same side of the bracket, is Anna Jay and Ty Mello. That's who. And who do I think if it's going to be Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa winning? Who do I think their opponents are going to be? If it's Mercedes Moné and Athena, I'm basically going to be like this. That's it. I'm probably gonna walk out of the room on that one. But no, my head is going Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa are probably gonna win this. My sleeper pick, like I said, is Anna Jay and Ty Mello. And the only reason I picked them is they have been a tag team pretty much since the beginning, even in the pandemic era. They started doing matches together and they really have great camaraderie, great chemistry, and they are genuine and they are real life really good friends. So they work incredibly, incredibly well together. I would say if you're gonna pick a team that's really gonna surprise some people, I would probably go if I had to pick a team that would surprise people. I would probably go Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron. Now, would this have made sense if Chris Statlander was in there? Well, yeah, it would have made sense if she was not currently the AEW Women's World Champion and currently in a feud with Mercedes, who happens to be in this tournament with Athena. So there's that. But yeah, those are my picks. The team that could surprise people: Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron. Sleeper pick is Anna Jay and Ty Mello. Pick to win based on my head: Tony Storm, Mina Shirakawa. All right, if you get out of that one. Sometimes making picks in tournaments is tough. It doesn't matter if it's wrestling or it's, say, March Madness, college basketball. It's just hard to pick because you never know. Things could change on a dime. Now, I'm going to give a shout out to Playback. Now, Playback, fun community, great platform. You can find different communities here like ETB. You can see me here between the ropes. I'm here on Playback, simulcast on YouTube. You know the drill. You can check out shows like Press Row. You can check out football forecasts. You can check out Hitting for the Cycle, Moving the Goalposts. Check out all the great shows ETB has here. And also, big shout out to Novig Sportsbook. You could use the code ETB Network, get coins. You're not playing against the house. You're playing against real fans. You get to keep what you earn. Do parlays, all that other stuff that I don't want to get into it, but it is legal in 35 states, including Texas, Florida, California, and New York. And of course, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER and they'll help you get that. They will help you out in every way possible. So we get to that. So now we get to of course, Christie's Wrestler of the Week. And oh boy, my Wrestler of the Week this is from last week's SmackDown. It's Ilya Dragunov. This guy, former NXT UK champion, former NXT champion. He's incredibly talented. His, just super impressive in the ring. Last year suffered a really horrible knee injury. It put him on the shelf for a year. Oh, excuse me. And this guy, after a year away, answers Sami Zayn's open challenge, and he wins. After an incredible, intense match between these two. I mean, fantastic. I mean, bravo to Sami Zayn for doing this open challenge, and bravo to Ilya Dragunov for answering it. I mean, Ilya, after what he's had to deal with the knee injury and stuff like that, I am so happy for him. He deserves it so much. And bravo to him for keeping the open challenge going, because he had an open challenge match last night on SmackDown. Yeah, Aleister Black answered the challenge. Good for him. I think that was a really, really smart thing to do. And Ilya and Dragunov won. And I hope Dragunov keeps this going, because it really shines a spotlight on the United States title, and it gives people like who he faced last night on SmackDown, Aleister Black. It gives any other wrestler that he faces for that championship, it just shines that spotlight on it, makes people sit up and take notice. And I really think he's really is really doing that, and to keep up with Sami Zayn was doing. I'm thankful that he's doing it, and he definitely deserved this Wrestler of the Week honor from me, because I just feel like he deserved to have that spotlight on him. It just was incredible. And I'm just super happy for him. I've been watching him since he came to NXT UK, and I've always felt he had what it took to really be a success in this business, no matter where he went. But he stuck it out with WWE, worked really hard, and just did everything that he was supposed to do. And, he's reaping the benefits. Yeah, the knee injury was a setback for him, but he came back, and here he is. He's the United States champion. Will he move further up? I hope he does. I think he's got it. I really think he's got it. So before I get to Roast a Wrestler, and it ties into Wrestler of the Week, I mean, this gentleman went off and attacked Mr. Dragunov, which I thought was ridiculous and stupid and all that crap. So, I'm going to see what I can... We're going to do a little preview. Halloween Havoc, which is happening tonight on Peacock. If you are big into NXT, this is for you. I've got the match card right in front of me. And this should really be this is a very interesting card. I'm going to get my picks in here before I do Roast a Wrestler. So one of the big matches on the card is a Broken Rules match. This is Dark State, or what I call the Shield off of Wish.com. Link. If you know, you know, versus Matt and Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys. Broken Rules match. I don't know what that type of match entails to. I guess is anything goes. I have no idea. But that's for the NXT tag team titles. I have Matt and Jeff Hardy retaining. Dark State need to break up and get off my screen. Sorry, Cutler James. I know you were on WWE Legends of Future Greats in its first season. This is something NXT decided to do. I think it's been an epic failure. Sorry, not sorry for being honest on that one. Next one, this one kind of came as spur of the moment. It's the NXT Women's North American title. Blake Monroe, formerly Mariah May, wants that belt. Sol Ruca, however, unfortunately had injured her knee in a women's tag team title match against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. And her tag team partner Zarya is going to step in and defend that title in Sol's honor. I have heard rumblings a heel turn is going to happen, but I'm not going to know until we watch the event, until at least I watch it. So, but I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt there. But we'll see what happens. NXT North American title is a Day of the Dead match. Since I don't know anything about lucha wrestling, I don't know what that entails. But unfortunately for the gentleman, our luchador friend who is going to go up against All Ego Ethan Page, I'm sorry, my friend, but I don't think you're going to win this one. All Ego Ethan Page is going to continue to be the insufferable bastard that he is with that championship until somebody decides to knock him on his ass. So there's that. Next, we have a random tag team match. Oh boy. I'm going to have to look really hard at this because I can't pronounce these names. It's Mr. Laguana and La Parca versus Javon Evans, Mr. Bouncy, and the TNA X Division champion Leon Slater. Now, this match, I mean, let's face it, Mr. Iguana has become super popular with wrestling fans here in America because he's got his little iguana puppet, that sort of thing. It's super cute and all that. Don't get me wrong. But this match just does not make sense to me at all. There's no title on the line. There's no opportunity in there. Seems like just a random tag team match. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I am not questioning that at all. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I mean, Slater and Evans are very dynamic individuals. How they do as a tag team, I think it's even going to be more dynamic that way. I mean, wow. Definitely that one. Another championship match, of course, is JC Jane versus Tatum Paxley. This needs to be a spin the wheel match. I mean, spin the wheel, and the match is what the wheel lands on. It's JC Jane versus Tatum Paxley. If I were Shawn Michaels in the creative forces that be at WWE, you gotta pull the trigger on Tatum Paxley and put the belt on her. I'm sorry, JC Jane, since she's been champion, does not impress me. If JC retains, she's in the Roast a Wrestler segment next week. So there's a guarantee. So I just added my own little tiny stipulation in there. JC Jane wins, she gets roasted by me next week. So, okay. But I say Tatum Paxley wins this, though I'm probably going to be wrong. And I probably will roast JC Jane next week. So, get ready. Last one. This one definitely is probably going to be definitely the main event. It's Ricky Saints putting that NXT title on the line against former champ Trick Williams. Let's be fair here. I don't see Ricky losing that title. Trick needs to go to the main roster, and if he loses this, then I think that's what will happen to him. Trick gets moved to the main roster because I do think he's ready. It's either Raw or SmackDown. I don't care where he goes, but you just put him on the main roster and just do that. Pardon me. But those are my picks for Halloween Havoc. It's going to be tonight. I think it's in Tempe, Arizona on Peacock, so check it out. That is going to be, I think it's good. There's going to be a lot of tricks, treats, spooks, that sort of thing. Are we going to see jack-o'-lanterns? Yeah, probably. I wouldn't doubt it. So those are my picks. Let me know yours in the chat. So I'm going to get to the segment I think people are looking forward to. And oh boy, am I really going to be roasting this son of a bitch. Today's Roast a Wrestler, Solo Sikoa. That's right. He is the younger brother of the gentleman whose shirt I'm wearing, Jey Uso. Yeet. But Solo is with Solo, real name is Joseph Fatu, is, in my opinion, not exactly the most talented person in the Anawahi family. He is not. It's just basically just somebody. I just feel like since he's been on the main roster, just nothing about this guy is worked at all. It just hasn't worked. Everything about it just doesn't work. For one thing, why did you move? Was he moved up from NXT to the main roster too quickly? Yes. Should he have stayed a little longer? Yes. Then his NXT North American title reign, which only lasted one freaking week because he leaves, comes back and wins the belt, but 1 week later has to give it up because, oh, guess what? You're on the main roster now, buddy. That was part of the pathetic bloodline storyline that ran way too long. We know the drill on that one. And apparently, Mr. Fatu decided after Roman loses the title, he decides to form his own, beats up Roman, takes the Ulafala, which is the red lei that the tribal chief wears around his neck. Tries to take it, claims he's the real tribal chief, which is absolute bullshit. Bullshit. And finally lost it on the debut episode of Raw on Netflix. Roman got it back. And now, basically, Solo looks like a complete lost cause, in my opinion. Dude, you get Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, the sons of a longtime family friend, Haku, to join you. You get Jeff Cobb, a New Japan Pro Wrestling star, whose name later get changed to JC Mateo, who's not even part of your family. Um, you once had Jacob Fatu, your actual cousin, in there, but people started noticing him. Spotlight started shining brighter on him, and you got jealous. You got jealous. So you're jealous of Jacob Fatu. You hated the fact he won the spotlights on him. You also hated the fact he won the United States Championship, which, by the way, good for you, Jacob Fatu. You did deserve it, by the way. And you, Solo Sikoa, got so you're just very jealous. You're a very jealous, nasty person. I mean, your faction is pathetic as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Tama Tonga and Tongaloa need to be the Gorillas of Destiny and basically run friggin' roughshod through the whole WWE tag team division and winning championships, not being tied down by you. You're holding them back. JC Mateo, dump the name, be Jeff Cobb again, and just be you and just tear it up. I mean, heck, even hit some moves on Bronson Reed. That would honestly be very nice. There's another one for you. Solo. You and your goons attacked my wrestler of the week, Ilya Dragunov. Should you have done that? No. You had no reason. Just because your pissiness and your jealousy basically got the better of you, and you just decide to tell your clowns, let's go beat the shit out of this guy. Guess what? That's a stupid move, because guess what? You don't mess with the Mad Dragon. And I would not be surprised if you answer a US title open challenge that Dragunov puts out there, say next week. I wouldn't be surprised if Dragunov kicks your ass and throws you out of the ring. And you go crawling and you go leaving like a dog with his tail between his legs and you cry like a little bitch. So let's face it, Solo, you're petty, you're jealous. You can't stand it when someone else gets the spotlight. If if you want all this thing, you want all the glory and everything, you go bust your ass, work harder. Get over yourself. As far as I'm concerned, you ain't all that in a bag of chips. You're a joke. You are a joke. You always will be a joke. You're also basically going to be nothing more than another wrestler in the spotlight who's overshadowed by his cousin Roman Reigns and his two older brothers, Jimmy and Jey Uso. And if you stick your nose in Jimmy's match against CM Punk and Solo, oh shit, you are really going to get it, pal. You are really going to get it. You, Solo, gotta realize one thing. It's not being an ass clown. It ain't all it's cracked up to be. No, not at all. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I got a meowing cat who basically wants my attention, and she's not gonna shut up until basically I give her the attention she wants so bad right now. I'm sorry, everybody. But thank you all for watching. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week with a brand new episode of Between the Ropes, brought to you by Playback and Novik Sportsbook. Oh God, this has been crazy, but I have enjoyed every single minute of it. So I'll see you folks next week. Bye bye.